All right, so you see the title of this video, so you already know what it is. Why dating in America is not like dating in Jamaica. Quick disclaimer, this is not a peek into my dating life. Honestly, I'm somebody that likes to talk a lot. So I kind of like, talk to my friends. I like to kind of hear other people's experiences. Not saying that I haven't experienced any other things in this, but if you're watching this video and thinking like you know me, you don't. You don't know me. But yeah, so first thing I want to start off by saying no one's like a monolith. So like when I'm speaking, I'm not saying like every person checks these entire bills or everybody is completely the same. More so it's just to be like I notice some reoccurring things from both places and it makes me come up with an overall opinion. Not to say that every single person is like this. And again, I'm just talking, guys. So, I mean, if you have a different opinion, feel free to let me know in the comments. But this is my thoughts as someone that's, lived in Jamaica and lives in America. So, yeah. So, first off, I'm going to start by saying Jamaica doesn't actually have a dating culture, which is weird because I know the title of the video. But hear me out. Dating, at least the way I imagine dating, is, getting to know somebody, kind of like doing different stuff together before you guys end up together. And I feel like we don't necessarily have that in Jamaica. Like, yeah, like, and again, don't think you're prying into me. Like, I think I've dated before, but like for the vast majority of people in this space, I don't think they do like what I'd consider dating. So it's like, they don't really spend a lot of time in the courting process. Yeah, you might take a girl out for like food and drinks, and yeah, but like there's no like nothing else. Like I don't feel like Jamaica has a thing where they actually go on dates. It's like no, they get dinner. And honestly, I think it's probably I don't know if I should say it's worse here because I do think dating culture exists here, but I think there's this recent thing where it's like, like you feel like people are trying to kind of like weaponize dating in a sense where people are just kind of using it as an excuse to like get to do fun stuff and not necessarily to kind of figure out do I want to like be with this person because it's funny. Like honestly, if you think about it, anything could quote unquote be a date. Like if you think about it, you asking somebody, hey, you want to go to the park and take a walk, that could technically be considered a date. But it's like that's not something that you can really do in Jamaica. And you can do it in America, but it's like if you're not doing like or if you're not offering up like, I feel like society nowadays kind of like likes to weaponize dating culture. So it's like if you're not offering up like, yo, let's do this big fancy date, it's almost like it's not seen as valuable. The thing is, because Jamaica doesn't have the dating culture, you can kind of get away with it for the majority. But over here, I really feel like there's this big weaponization of like dates and like a woman being seen as more valuable if she goes on more like expensive and like flashy dates and not necessarily getting to know the person. So we're similar in the sense where, well, actually, we're not similar. Scratch that. Jamaica doesn't really have a dating culture. I don't think that people really date in Jamaica. They'll go out for maybe that first food or first drink, but I don't think they have this consistent thing of actually doing things. And while in America, they do have a dating culture. It's more aimed towards doing like the flashy, showy kind of stuff. And, the smaller actual dates, they're not as big anymore, which is a real bummer because I really feel like people miss out on like actual opportunities to do fun things. Like, yeah, movies is cool. Yeah, I think it's also cool to like, I think it's cool to have dinner and stuff. But you could actually like go to places. You could like there's so many parks. I feel like it's such like a big like it's such like a big like bummer to know that yo, there's all these big ass parks and like nobody wants to do anything but get food. Like honestly, is everybody just hungry all the time? Like is everybody just dying of hunger? Like nobody wants to go and like see places and like like I don't want to say museums because honestly I think museums suck. I like to learn, I really do, but I just don't feel like the museums here give you a really good experience and they're very overpriced. I feel like everything right now is just boiling down to like more money I spend, more I like you. And it's just like that's not dating. Dating is, hanging out with somebody, having a vibe, and then eventually, going towards, okay, is it going to be a relationship or not? I feel like we both America and Jamaica, could benefit more from embracing an actual dating culture and actually getting to know people. But this leads me to my next difference between dating in America. I made points. I wrote down points because that's kind of person I am. I like to write stuff down. What is thing there? What is thing there? Rules and prerequisites. All right, so boom. I feel like I kind of touched on it earlier with the previous points, but rules and prerequisites. I feel like Jamaican women won't have as much rules and prerequisites for dates because we don't have the dating culture. I do feel like oftentimes if a girl is into you, she will, be open to going out if she likes you. With here, I feel like there are a lot more rules and prerequisites. And let me just throw this out there. I feel like if a girl gives you a bunch of rules for a date, she doesn't like you. Like just keep it real. I don't think people really abide by the rules that they set. I feel like the rules are more so as a deterrent for the people that they don't actually like. So like if, for instance, people have like rules on what they don't do for a first date. I think that is bogus. Like, I mean, unless it's something illegal, which you probably shouldn't be doing anyway, I don't feel like there should be any rule as to what you can and can't do for a first date. And I feel like when people throw things around like that, they're not into you. I've never really seen that as a Jamaican thing. I don't think Jamaica has, these explicit rules. I think that's an American thing where they'll be like, oh, I don't do this as a date, or I don't get into sex yet. So I'll save sex for another part. But like, yeah, like I just feel like there's a lot more rules and prerequisites for dating in America, and that could also be because they have a bigger dating culture. So I guess because we don't have a big dating culture in Jamaica, people don't make as much rules. I think they're probably just more grateful to go out on the date or just do something because, yeah, I feel like Jamaica is a place where, don't get me wrong, we're going out, like we're going parties, etc., etc. But again, I don't know. For me, I don't know if it's like media kind of brainwash me, but like when I watch or when I used to watch TV and stuff, I saw dates as, yeah, we do like a movie date or whatever, but dates could be like a walk in the park. Dates could be going to like an ice skate ring, or dates could be going roller skating, or dates could be all these like different like adventures that one don't involve spending like a bunch of money and who just actually give you time to talk to somebody and get to know somebody. I think that is generally like a lost art because when you think about it, like you go into the like man, you go into this restaurant with dark lights or moody lights and like low music. And are you really getting to talk to somebody? And is there like, is there like this pressure to like seem all showy and stuff? Like, yeah, I saying like a lot. I might use another sentence filler. But yeah, I feel like just the prerequisites and the rules is definitely an American thing that Jamaicans like. We don't have that. We don't have that. If a girl like you, she could go out with you. So yeah, like careful of the American girl them. And don't get me wrong, Jamaican girl them have for them thing too, but careful of the American girl them. Hold on, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Traditionalism and conservatism. Wow, I'm using some big words right now. Yeah, big words. Anyways, so Jamaica is a very conservative country, right? Interesting, but we're a very conservative country. Jamaican women, and again, I'm being general, or I'm being comparative, I should say, because if we're being fair, everybody kind of changing culturally. I think Jamaica is a lot more like America than it used to be. But for the most part, I feel like Jamaica is a bit more conservative. So it's just like, for instance, I don't want to go into graphic details, but I feel like girls here in America will be quicker to like probably like sleep with somebody if they like you on the first date. I feel like sex casually, that's my next point I was gonna get to. I feel like casual sex is a much bigger thing in America to the point where it's actually almost scary. Not scary because sex, because no, we love sex, but scary because I think generally American, and not just women, men and women, they actually struggle with relationships, which is funnily ironic. I think it's the opposite with Jamaicans. I feel like Jamaicans will date well, not date, sorry, will deal with, and if you don't want to know what deal with mean, if you're American, like Jamaicans will be in a relationship with every single person that they're sleeping with. Like that's like a Jamaican culture thing. Again, I'm speaking in like my little small bubble. I mean, I could be wrong, but in my little small bubble, I feel like a Jamaican man or woman, once them sleeping with somebody, that person them dead. it's not like that in America. Like, yo, they are heartless over here. Like they will like have casual sex and like there's no, and both men and women, like they're horrible. Like they don't have like, I don't know, they don't sustain relationships. Like it's they struggle with commitment. And I mean commitment in I don't know what the word I want to use, because again, if somebody have multiple partners, they probably do struggle with commitment too. But what I'm trying to say is a Jamaican woman or man will deal with five, six people and be in a relationship with all of them. An American will not want to be with anybody. They'll be sleeping with a bunch of people, but do not want to have like any kind of like quote unquote relationship. So it's like I find that like commitment or like being in some kind of like relationship is very like taboo here. Not taboo is the word I want to use. Like they don't like it. It's a culture of not liking to be with people. I don't know. Like tell me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I noticed. So it's just like because Jamaica have this more conservative kind of vibe, it's like girls will be like less likely to kind of want to do certain stuff on like a first date because you know how things might look. While I feel like in America, girls will be more open to doing certain things because, you know, I guess they are free spirited and I don't believe in, you know, certain traditionalist views and they don't care about stuff like that. And you know, they're all about empowerment and etc. etc. And I'm not saying this to be like derogatory or make fun of anybody. I'm just comparing because for me, like I don't believe in absolutes. Only I say deals in absolutes. So it's like it's more so what works for you. I do feel like some people like to pretend as if they're more conservative than they are, or like to pretend that they're more libertarian. What the word? That they're more like open-minded and free-spirited. We all have our own biases, so it's really just about you as the individual. But yeah, Jamaica definitely is more conservative, so I do think they care a lot more about how they're perceived, especially in initial stages. But like again, American dating culture, American women, I think they're a lot more open to like doing whatever off rip. And yeah, kudos to them for that. Like big up on yourself. Let me see if there's another point that I had to touch on. So just to add this little bit and piece, I just want to say like for me personally, I feel like when it comes to like sex and dating, because I have to add this piece. I feel like I should have added like once I made a comment about like conservatism, because I really feel like people tend to like create rules and prerequisites that oftentimes they don't really make much sense, especially when it comes to like feelings and just being a human. So like to get to the point, like honestly, if you like somebody and somebody likes you, there's no ideal or perfect time to be in a relationship or to have sex. And I said this to say because you could wait, you could give a guy the chase and let him wait, and that will not make him like you or make you guys any more compatible than you are. So it's just like if you like somebody, you take the chance. It might be a failed chance, but I think that's how relationships are. And people might be like, so do you want to walk around with failed relationships or, you know, bring up your body count or whatever? I just think it's stupid. Like me personally, again, there are people that care about that, but it just feels like if somebody likes you, they won't care about your body count. They won't weaponize your body. I've never asked a girl what's her body count. I think it's a very juvenile question. Why are you using big words when I'm talking to you guys? Is juvenile a big word? I don't know. Um, but yeah, like don't ask a girl her body count. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, find a girl with the most experience or whatever. It's just like if you like somebody, you just like them. Like her body count will not make her more or less of an interesting person. And I mean, if sex is the only thing that she's really offering, then she's probably not that, interesting. But like, I don't feel like more or less sex like makes a person like more valuable or less valuable. It's just really dependent on them as an individual. Because I'm sure you have people with no body count that are like horrible people, and you have people that with a high body count that are like great, interesting people that would be amazing to be in a relationship with. So it's just like if it matters to you, it matters to you. But I don't feel like because people will create, even men will create these rules and be like, yo, if a girl did this, I'm not gonna do it there. But you oftentimes find that, yo, if you really like a girl, you break all the rules. And that goes for the same for men and women. If a guy likes you, he will not be making all these rules and regulations. And if a girl likes you, she will do the same. Like oftentimes people make these bunch of rules and regulations because somebody hurt them before or because they were told this, and when they actually go into the real world experience, they break all these rules because it is hard to have rules when it comes to like love and romance and emotions. But I said all this to say, don't get too caught up in what you think you're supposed to do. Just try to feel and work with your vibe. Yo, easily, this video is probably like 10 minutes and I feel like I've barely been talking. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, just talking to you guys is just like a vibe. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, if I left off anything, let me know in the comments. If you guys like this video, the YouTube algorithms is gonna like this video right here.